Is it just me, or do you say you're about to quit? I don't know, maybe once a week. Maybe not that often, but reselling, entrepreneurship, small business ownership is hard. And friends, I'm telling you, it seems like it's only getting harder in these past couple months. I'll link a video up here about what I think is going on and kind of some of the issues that we're having to deal with in the reselling community right now. But I want to talk a little bit about what to do on those days when you're considering quitting. Give me a smash button if I am not alone. Give me a smash button. Smash that like button if I am not alone and you guys have considered on multiple occasions quitting. Today's video, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step on those days, what I do to persevere through and to just make it through these times right now as a small business, as an entrepreneur, as a reseller. And the first thing I do on those days when I'm like, I'm quitting, I'm done, I can't have this, is I take the time to have that. I take the time to sit with my feelings, and my husband's gonna tell me I'm like hippy dippy, but I take the time to sit with that feeling, because if we just keep pushing it down, it's just gonna keep festering up. So take the time to be in your feelings. Take the time to allow yourself to be frustrated. It is hard. It's very hard. And oftentimes for me personally, this means getting off of social media as I'm in those feelings. Sometimes I've made videos about this, but sometimes I get up in those feelings because I'm comparing myself to others. Sometimes it is really something happening in my business. But I take the time, whether it's an hour, whether it's 30 minutes, whether it's a full entire day. Allow yourself that time. Once I have taken the time and I'm like, okay, I'm at a better place. I'm not frustrated. I'm not ready to cry. I'm not ready to break a wall, whatever your feeling is at the time. Once you get past that, whether it's an hour, a day, whatever, the second thing that I do is I sit down and I write out or I spew out information at my husband. And he's like, whoa, Sarah, like chill. But I get it all out, what I'm frustrated about, why I'm frustrated about it, what's causing me to be frustrated about it. Get it all out. Don't try and solve it. Start at the top. What is the problem? What is frustrating you? What is making you angry? Why did you have those feelings? And sometimes it may just be like, I was having a bad day. It's what it is. I got a return. This buyer was being nasty while my kid was yelling at me and I was just really frustrated, right? And maybe there's nothing to do about it. But once you get it all out, then you can start to work backwards. And to that example, friends, some of it is, and I've had to learn this, is I get really frustrated and angry with my business. I get angry with my children when I'm trying to do both. And so for me, working backwards in a situation was that it wasn't what was happening in my business. It wasn't what was happening with my kid. It was the fact that I was trying to manage the two at the same time. And I'm just not capable of doing it. My brain does not allow me to be frustrated at my business and have to deal with a 3-year-old who's on the floor screaming and crying. He's 6 now, but you know what I mean? As a parent, right? My brain doesn't work. So now I'm in step 3 of, I know what the problem is. How can I work backwards to fix that? And for this situation, it's separate the two. Sometimes in my business, I have to do things in my business when my kids are around, but I have worked extremely hard in the past couple years to solve that problem. I wasn't frustrated with my business. I looked at my numbers. I looked at what it's bringing in my family. I looked at the joy that it brings me to do something outside of what's actually inside my home, but outside of my home life. I like all of that. I get frustrated in those moments, and those moments are when I'm trying to balance too many things. And so drawing some strict boundaries, not working anymore when I am, the kids get off of school and I'm done working. That means I'm having to scale back on some of the things that I do. I'm having to improve some of my processes so that, shipping is one of the things that I do every single day. And oftentimes the kids are around for me. I went in and figured out ways to make my shipping extremely efficient. So even if I have to do it when the kids are around, I can ship an item in 2 minutes. That means at most, weekends is a little bit more, but I sell 10 to 12 items a day. It's taking me 20 minutes. And if I am having to deal with a kid, I'm not having to mentally figure out how to do this. I'm not taking the mental capacity because shipping is kind of just mundane now because there's a process. When you're out looking for an item that you lost and then your kid is like, Mom, my sister's bugging me, blah, 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 then your mental capacity is not there. Obviously, your reasons for quitting is slightly different. Let me know down below, and it may be valid. You may get through this whole thing, and it may be valid. You may say, hey, there's more pros or there's more cons than there are pros, and it is that time to quit, which is absolutely okay. But do not quit Do not make a big decision on that day that you're ready to quit. Sit down and figure out exactly what it is that made you feel that way, and then figure out if there is a way that you can solve for that one little problem. I'm going to give one more example too, because for me, one of the reasons that I've said this recently is returns on eBay. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm quitting. This is awful. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I meant just returns, not quitting altogether. I had my feelings and I was like, I'm so frustrated. This is so annoying. The next day I sat down and said, okay, what made me annoyed with returns? It's the fact that I got 5 returns in one day when I didn't have a sale. Right? Let me know down below if you guys have had those days. It seems like those are always the times that it helps. And then I always feel like as soon as I get a return, I have to refund it. And then it takes time out of what I'm doing at the time, and I feel stressed because now I'm giving money back. Like, I'll take time out to do a shipping because I'm making money at it, but taking time out to do a return, I don't know. So what I sat down and said, okay, it's the stress and the incompetency that I feel when I have a return, and the taking it out of my bottom line. I looked at my numbers first and foremost. I'll link a video up here of how I look at my return numbers to make sure that I am still making money, even though I am offering free returns. And then I thought, the return process for me is frustrating because I feel like I have to give the return right away. So I've started a new process. I don't know that I necessarily recommend it. I do think that if you return the item, send the money right away, it does actually help. It makes buyers happier. It makes the algorithm probably happier. But at the end of the day, it wasn't making me happy. So I've done a process where I have a bin, and when I get a return, I put it in the bin, and then in the morning the next day, I go through and do my returns. And it's allowed me to separate myself from the situation. Thanks for hanging on for this rant. It was one of those days, friends, and I feel like you probably have had them too. Let me know down below what you guys do as well. If you liked this, please make sure to subscribe, but make sure to like, comment, share, and save so other people can see it as well. Consider joining my membership so that you can support more content like this.